Externalities, meaning, types, positive externality. Example of Ankit Agarwal. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Economics Made Easy. So, in today's video, I am going to discuss about the term externalities. Well, it's a kind of easy topic, but I think if we can relate it with a day-to-day life, then it would be more easier for us to get understand, right? Okay, so let me start by introducing the term externalities. So, what is the meaning of externality? Action taken by one firm, consumer, individual, affect other firm, consumer, individual. Like the slash here means or, okay. So, if an action taken by one firm or a consumer or an individual affecting other firm, consumer, individual, then it is known to be externalities. How? Let's just suppose, yeah, let's just suppose that a factory emitting smokes. Okay, so it directly affecting the environment, right? So here is externality. Here externality occurs. How? Because the firm or the factory emitting smoke is polluting the environment, right? So that's why externality occurs. So whenever an action taken by one firm, consumer, individual affecting the other firm directly or indirectly, right? It should not be, or it must not be the case that it should be directly or it should be indirectly. No, directly or indirectly affecting other firm, consumer, or an individual, then their externality will arise. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the types. So basically there are two types: positive externality and negative externality. And other than this, there are obviously different types of externality, like production externality, consumer externality, behavior externality. So there are different types of externality, but for simplicity, now we are taking like there are two types of externality: the positive one and the negative one. Okay, so what does we mean by positive externality? The positive externality: when the action of one person affects the other person positively. Whenever the action of one firm, factory, consumer, producer, directly or indirectly affecting the other person, firm, individual, factory, whatever it is, in a very positive manner, then we term it as positive externality. So now we'll discuss that positive externality with the help of an example of Ankit Agarwal. Who is Ankit Agarwal? Ankit Agarwal is the founder of Help Us Green. He lives in Kanpur, and the foundation of the Help Us Green itself occurs in Kanpur. Okay, so what does Help Us Green do? Help Us Green, basically Help Us Green collects all the floral waste or the dried flowers. Basically in Hinduism, like you guys also can see that in order to show our love or devotion towards our God, what we generally do, we give or we overlay flowers to our God, right? And when all those flowers get dried, then the priest of the temple throw out it into the garbage, and from there the sweeper throws it into the river or the garbage area, right? So what does Help Us Green do? Basically, they collect all those floral waste only. Okay, they collect all those floral waste and recycle those floral waste, and recycle those floral waste into an incense sticks. Like, yeah, incense sticks. Sorry, it is not intense, it is incense. Okay, incense sticks in Hindi, it means agarbatti. So क्या करता है कि फ्लोरल वेस्ट को कलेक्ट करता है. He collects all the floral waste and turns it into an incense sticks. Okay, so now Ankit Agarwal visions, how Ankit Agarwal's vision affecting the environment or affecting other people positively. Now here is the example of externality. Ankit Agarwal thinks about this floral waste. Okay, this is his idea that okay, he will turn these floral waste into an incense sticks. Okay, so from there he's preventing the nature by getting by preventing by in fact, let's just suppose if a floral waste throwing out into the river, so the river also gets polluted, and from there the bacteria arises, bacteria like hepatitis, diarrhea, and so many other bacteria arises. So he's preventing the nature, he's preventing the water from getting polluted. At the same time, he's preventing the animals of the water itself, like fishes also, what we generally eat, what non-vegetarian people eat, and thus preventing the human beings also. And at the same time, he's also generating employment from his startup. Like basically, he's giving employment to lower class people. So many good things, or so many different things uh, affecting. In fact, his idea is just an idea, or he's just a startup affecting so many other creatures in the environment, directly or indirectly. Like, so this is an example of externality. Okay, someone's idea affecting other people's also, other people life also. So this is an externality case. Okay, so I also believe, and I in fact I always believe that if you can relate economics with our day-to-day life or with our business life, then it would be easier for us to get understand the terms like related to externalities and so many other things related to economics itself. Okay, so yeah, this is it about Ankit Agarwal. Now we'll discuss about this graph. In order to understand the meaning of this graph, we'll take another example, not the example of Ankit Agarwal. Okay, so that it would be more clear for us. Okay, and you guys can also, if you are following or if you are reading Pindike Rubenfeld, then the graph is also there, and there is an example also. You guys can go through from there itself. So I'm taking an example of a teacher who generally nowadays who is doing online classes. Okay, so he or she has a phone. The teacher has a phone and is doing online classes. Okay, so now the case is that the phone of the teacher is not working, so it needs to be repaired. Like there is a demand of the teacher that it needs to be repaired. So here is a demand curve, black in color. You guys can see that the demand curve is downward sloping. Okay, so now the question arises, why the demand curve is downward sloping? Because greater there is a need of repairing, greater there is a chance that the phone will not work in future also, or will need to be repaired frequently, in a very frequently manner, right? अगर फ़ोन ज़्यादा ख़राब है, तो ऑब्वियसली वो अगर एक बार आप ठीक करा के आते हो, तो देयर इज़ अ हाई चांस कि वो वापस से फिर से ख़राब हो जाए, राइट? क्यों? क्योंकि वो फ़ोन बहुत ज़्यादा ख़राब है. सो द कंडीशन ऑफ द फ़ोन इज़ नॉट गुड इनफ. ओके, सो द डिमांड कर्व इज़ low because you are paying for the repairing and you are not getting the value, and you're not getting the value the way you are paying, or the the value in itself is not worthy enough. Okay, as compared to the repairing level. So the repairing, whenever the repairing level gets high, the demand curve will get low and you will prefer to buy a new phone. Obviously, if the phone condition is very 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 bad, then you will definitely decide to buy a new phone instead of repairing itself. Okay, so now this is the demand curve, downward sloping, and there is a MC curve, which is for simplicity we now take it as a horizontal, that the MC is, or the marginal cost. MC means marginal cost and D is demand curve. The marginal cost is constant here. Okay, and at the x-axis we measure repair level, and at the y-axis we repair value. Okay, so higher there is a need to be repaired, lower there is a value given by the phone, so higher there is a chance that you will buy a new phone, definitely. Now it impacts students also, because in our example we take that the teacher, he or she is a teacher. Okay, so and he is doing online class. So whenever the phone will not work, then definitely there is a gap between his classes, and obviously then students will enjoy the holiday, but at the same time students will not get benefited. Why? Because they are paying in a monthly manner, and the classes are not as like the classes are not continuous, right? So the marginal external benefit is also downward sloping. But whenever the phone will because if teacher repair the phone and then continue his classes, then definitely the students will get benefited, right? But the marginal external benefit, like MEB is here marginal external benefit. Here MEB is downward sloping. Why? The reason is very clear. Like if the phone is not working, or if the phone gets hanged, or it gets slow frequently, then definitely there will be so many obstructions in the classes itself. So from there the marginal external benefit will is also downward sloping. Okay, so now the MSB. What is MSB? MSB is nothing but the marginal social benefit. Okay, so it is the summation of marginal external benefit plus the demand curve. Okay, so marginal external benefit curve is also downward sloping, because the two curve is in itself is downward sloping. At the same time, now we can note a very important point here. Okay, now we can see that if a teacher is continuously repairing his phone, then what will happen is the teacher ends up giving so much price P, the demand curve and the MC interaction P, and getting so much low value. Output is, you can see that output is very low, but he's giving so much money, or the price level is very high in this situation. But rather he can do one thing, that if he can buy a new phone, then the price level is low and the output level or the value he's getting is very high, and at the same time it is socially benefited also. How? Because if he can buy, or if he can invest into the phone, and if he can buy a new phone, then the students will also get benefited at the same time, and at the very low price. So this is the case of positive externality and the inefficiency. So generally what will happen in the case of positive externality, the output we are getting is very low, and we are giving so much money, and but the output is very low, right? But and so there is an inefficiency in the output, or in the value itself. Sorry, so there is an inefficiency in the output and in the value itself. Okay, but if we can if we can give a low price as compared to the initial price, then we can get a very high value or high output in return. So this is the case of inefficiency in case of positive externality. In our next video we'll discuss about the case of negative externality and inefficiency. So in this video, if you guys if you don't understand anything, or if there is something like it seems like this is missing, or this is the point where I do not understand what does I mean actually, so you can just drop a comment and I will try to answer it as soon as possible. At the same time, you can message me at the Facebook page of Economics Made Easy, and over there also I will try to reach back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching this video.